Hey, it's Asha. I'm here with a message, and this is for all my people that are looking into nursing, nursing student, and even those who are in the profession. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Definitely comment your experience and let me know if you agree or disagree because everybody's experience is different. I just want to speak to the students first and foremost. When you go on these units and you're observing the unit, you're there as a student, you're observing shift report, you're observing how the nurses do their notes, how they interact with patients. I want you to look a bit deeper and look at their facial expressions. Look at their body language. Look at how they speak to one another. Look at how they speak with the patients and really ask yourself, is this a person that loves what they're doing? Is this a person that's exhausted? Is this a person that's supported in what they do? You know, and more importantly, can I see myself in this role long term? Because it's like, I feel like that's what I missed when I was in school. I was so, when I get stuck on something and I'm determined to complete it, I will complete it. And you have such a burst of ambition while you're in school, and it's just about being on top, passing the next test, not failing, not dropping out, succeeding. And you have all this like energy to succeed, which is great, only to realize that once you get out of nursing school, you're still in this like vicious environment. Like nursing school was vicious to me. There were people that told me that I can't study with them. There were people that I had a girlfriend who went to nursing school, never gave me any materials, kept asking if I like passed the test, only to be like, "Hey, if it's not for you, it's okay to drop out." Like, and I felt like that was like the culture in nursing school. It was like, "You're on your own. Good luck. I'm only helping myself and my people, and you can't sit with us" vibes. And the culture is very much the same, but in a different way. I feel like I do like being a nurse. I love to encourage people. I love. I'm a psychiatric nurse, so I love the field of psych because you get the chance to meet people at one of their lowest points and bring them up. Put that spark in them. I love the patient who's like a little depressed and has low self esteem because I'm able to light that spark and plant good thought seeds and get them uplifted. And it just felt like I was always in an environment where it's like I will add light to that environment, but that light will be dimmed by my coworkers and the people around me. I would try to uplift the patients. I would add a calm, setting in the milieu. That's what we call the patient area. I'll have calm jazz music playing. Patients will be stable, and it's almost as if coworkers don't like that. They want the chaos. They want something to complain about. So it can be very chaotic. You can feel like you're not supported, and you can feel like there's a lack of compassion amongst coworkers, which makes it really hard to do what you're doing. And notice I'm not talking about the patients and how difficult they are. I'm more so talking about how difficult and toxic the environment of nursing can be. And every single job that I've had, what I've noticed is I'm also a traveler, and what I notice, you see the same characters at every job. You got the person that talks bad about everybody. You got the person that has a negative attitude, the person that won't help you with anything, the person that will help you with everything, the person that's very nice, the person that's not so nice. But it just comes to a point where you're just exhausted, over the culture. Um, you're expected to cross every T, dot every I, as you should. But there's a such thing in nursing called continuity of care, which is a lot of times you're looked down upon if you actually implement that. Like, hey, I couldn't get this done. Are you able to take care of it next shift? Or God forbid you're having you've had an exhausting day or night, and you may not catch everything. You'll get eye rolling and huffing and puffing in that morning shift report. Or if you're on the shift and I've had times where I even vomited or felt really ill, and I would tell my coworker and they would just look at me, not, are you okay? Is anything wrong? There's just a lack of compassion. So we're taught to be so compassionate to the patient, but we're not compassionate to ourselves, and two, we're not compassionate to our coworkers. I'm really speaking for other people, but this is the general culture in nursing. Obviously, most days I come across as compassionate to everyone, rather you're a patient or a coworker. But it can just be really hard, and I realized, like, in the beginning I thought, okay, I'm gonna get into this, and then that's it. I'm gonna be a nurse, and life be good. And don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful I have a steady income, and I need the income at this point. But I know I realize that this can't be a 30-year career. Absolutely not. Like, I won't be able to do it. That And I'm only on like my fifth year. I'm not a 15-year nurse talking, and I'm already burned out. Already. I consider myself still like a newer nurse. When it comes to nursing, all I'm saying is, just like they say in nursing school, don't be blinded by, okay, I'm going to make X amount of dollars, or I'm always going to have a job, or make sure that there is some compassion, a lot, not some, not a little. Oh, I have to fix this. This thing is not worth anything. Make sure there is a lot of compassion tied to the reason of you wanting to be a nurse, or of you being a nurse. Because truthfully, it's one of the most rigorous things you can do in terms of education, but it's also one of the hardest job you can do as far as profession. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of different nursing fields. You can go into aesthetics, you can go into IV hydration, you can go into many, many different things that are less chaotic. But across the board in general, like, nursing is one of the hardest things you could do with your life and with your life force. And you're going to be putting 36 to 40 to 48 hours weekly. Some people do over that. I have no clue how. I don't know. I wish I could, because the paycheck would be wonderful, even though you want to be careful about doing too much overtime because you get taxed. But I just physically and mentally cannot. It can be so exhausting. And I just want everybody to make sure that you're going into it for the right reasons. Not just to say I'm a nurse, not just to make the money, not just because you'll always have a job, even though a job is completely important. I get it. But go, in life, go after your natural talents. Whatever you take joy in doing, is true what they say, go after that. Because I feel like in each one of us, God instills a gift. And you just literally have to unlock it and see what that is. And then nurture that. And, you know, focus on that. If you're horrible at math, but you're a great writer, do writing. Become a journalist. Don't force yourself to be a mathematician. That's all I'm saying. And I'm in psychiatric nursing. I really do feel like I have the demeanor for it. I have the patience. Many times I don't feel anxious. I don't feel depressed there, ironically. I'm able to handle situations with ease and calm. But it doesn't take away the fact that a lot of these places are, at the end of the day, toxic work environments. It doesn't matter where you go, you see the same characters everywhere you go. And it can just be hard. It can just be hard. And then what also can be hard is when you're not supported in the right way. So when you are having a hard shift, or you do have to, like, sometimes I feel like I'm just like a punching bag for patients. Let's talk about the patients. Sometimes I do feel like just a punching bag for patients, and that shouldn't be either. That can burn you out as well, especially if you're like, if there's a situation where you're saying, hey, I feel like this patient needs to be medicated. Remember, I'm in psych. And the person is not really teaming up with you on that idea. When they're medicated, they're a totally different person, you know what I mean? So it can just be a challenge. I also am doing nights now.
What's going on? Talk to me. I'm done. Cut the show. I'm done. Take me off.
Which is a long story. Nights, I won't say it's easier, because in some aspects it is, because you don't have as many people around. uh the patients are asleep, so there's minimal patient interaction, but it takes a toll on your body in terms of your sleep, your natural rhythm. And sometimes patients stay up all night, so it depends. But it just, I don't know if it's like, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, because I remember how stressed I was on days, and days is a whole different beast. You have treatment teams, you have meetings, you have medication administration, you have discharges and admissions, and all these little things, editing a treatment plan, all these little tasks that you have to do, on top of having like 8+ patients that you have to monitor them throughout your 12-hour shifts. So they need medications at this time, they need changes, they need wound care. And just because you're in psych, it doesn't even take away from doing some of those clinical tasks. So day shift, it's like I'm on nights, and I know that's probably why I'm so agitated, but I don't know if I want to go back to the day shift.
I just picked up day shifts for the first time in my nursing career. Yo, what the fuck was that? Y'all do this shit voluntarily with no shift diff? No. When I tell you guys, everything was just alive and breathing. Too much human contact, y'all. You will not see me again in the broad daylight ever again. No. I felt like I was just Miss Yapper all day, y'all. I was just talking, like, oh my god, I got tired of my own voice. I'm gonna drive home in silence. Y'all crazy. Yeah, night shift for life.
I've had such petty interactions with nurses. And I find that after 6 months, it really starts to happen, where they start to find the dumbest thing to overanalyze me on. It could be using the restroom, it could be the smallest thing. I can never tell you when any of my coworkers, um, I could never be able to tell you when any of my coworkers use the restroom. Like, it's just can be overwhelming anyway. But that's what I wanted to say. I want to know if anyone else kind of feels the same way about the culture and the toxicity that can come with nursing and working for these institutions. And it really sucks, because I feel like once I get to a place, because I went into debt to become a nurse. That's the first mistake. And now I kind of feel like I'm indebted to it, right? I have to go to work. I have a large bill that I am paying off, but it's still there. Um, I feel like nursing is the type of thing that would be any job, as a matter of fact, not just nursing. Once you achieve being debt free, any job will become more enjoyable, right? Because now you're so you become debt free, you build an emergency fund, and now you're going to work. Yes, you got to pay your rent and you got to eat and all of that, yes. But If you find that you don't really like it, you have a cushion to transition. You have freedom now. And so I'm just trying to make it to that point because it's like a little resentment there as well. And maybe if I was part time, it would be a lot better, a lot better. I could go in, really be there, for the patients, not get so tied into, whatever culturally is going on in the hospital or on the unit. It can just become so draining because it's just like it's so not my personality. Like I believe in self-care. I believe in taking breaks. I believe in getting your lunch. I believe in getting enough sleep. And I'm finding that I am sacrificing those things for this position, for this role, which is not okay on a spiritual level. Like, no wonder I feel exhausted and depleted, and I haven't really been myself, is because I am not living up to my self-care standards with this particular maybe position, potentially chaotic position, and maybe it's time to transition. I maybe I don't fully have to transition out of nursing, but maybe a different specialty. I think it's probably time. And what's crazy is my body will start to tell me, like, I will literally start to be reactive in these places. So I will start to itch and become very uncomfortable, and that's happened like a few times before, and it only happens at the workplace. I go to the workplace, all of a sudden I'm like irritated. At another job, when it was time to go, I started to sneeze and cough all the time. I just couldn't stop sneezing, couldn't stop coughing. It's like my body's having a reaction to these places when it gets to be too toxic, because that's not me. I enjoy problem solving. I enjoy uplifting people. I enjoy creating a calm environment. And that irritates the spirit of certain people. And coworkers can have that spirit of like a provoking spirit where they want to irritate you. Your happiness, your light irritates them. They want to know why you smile. I've actually had some people ask me, "Why are you so happy? Why are you always smiling?" It's like, well, am I supposed to be frowning? You know? So, it's if you, like I said, if you don't dot every I and cross every T, you get you're in report and you get the little looks over to someone else. When someone, you say something, and the person will look at the other nurse, and I always address it. I said, "Hey, you know I, whatever it is, I don't say it directly, like, hey, why are you looking at her?" But I might say, "Hey, is there an issue? Like, I didn't see that. I didn't see that, but I can finish it." um but it'd be nice if someone sees that you're exhausted or something like that, or you, God forbid, you miss something. You're human. So it's like humanity, the element of being human is not allowed in nursing spaces sometime, I feel. Just being a human, being a tired human, being a overwhelmed human, being an exhausted human, being a human that needs help, being a human that needs a break, being a human that needs water and some food. God forbid you get up from your desk to use the bathroom. That is inhumane. I am not a robot, you know? God forbid you tell a patient, like, "Hey, I'm not here to be verbally abused by you, psychological issue or not." I believe it's okay to remind patients, "Hey, I'm being kind to you. I need you to be kind to me." We don't have to take this, but I alone cannot change the culture of nursing, and I never will. That's why I know that I know that there's a time limit. I know that it almost kind of feels like a hustle. It kind of feels like, okay, I'm going to use this money to create a cushion so that I have some type of savings for once I'm 60, 70 years old, or I'm going to use this money to help me fund a dream that I might have. But I'm going to use this money for something, because I know that I don't want to be 67, 8. I had a coworker that was 83 years old working on a chaotic floor with me, bedside nursing in the psychiatric ward. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So it's kind of like a hustle. It's kind of like I got into it kind of thinking, okay, well, I made it, done. I'm set for life. And then once I got into it, my eyes opened up to the culture, to the perceived toxicity, to, the lack of compassion amongst coworkers, and to not being supported all the time when you are dealing with, you know, obscene or violent or verbally abusive and aggressive patients. When you're not supported, the job can be a lot harder, I want to tell you. But that felt good to get out, actually. I'm not going to cry. I'm going to talk it out with you guys, whoever is listening. Oh, and then the winter has kicked my ass. You can even see in some shorts, like some of the shorts videos that I posted. I'm always sitting in the car, and the winter. And honestly, all most of those videos was after a shift, a nursing shift. But this winter has been so rough on me, and there's just so much going on in the world that it's like it's like a never-ending loop of just different things. It's like I'm not completely satisfied with my career choice. You have the world possibly I don't know, blowing up. You have climate changes and it being -2 degrees, and my skin is dry, my nose is red. I'm just constantly uncomfortable. But anyway, that's me complaining. It's just real out here, y'all. It's real out here, y'all. At the same time, you need an income. You need an income, and God, thank you for my job. Thank you for my job. I just wish my job, and I just want to send out blessings to the people that I work with and work around. I hope that their spirit can be a little bit lighter, a little bit more forgiving, a little bit more compassionate toward themselves first and foremost, and then toward their peers, because I feel like a lot of these people aren't even compassionate with themselves. So how are they going to be compassionate toward you? They won't even get up and get a drink of water. They won't get up and eat. They burn themselves out. So they're expecting you to do the same thing. And I'm here to tell you, I'm a new breed nurse. I'm not doing the same thing as that. I care about me, and I know that if I have to care about me, because I got to put the oxygen tank on me so that I can put the oxygen tank on other people, which is what I want to do. I want to bring light. I want to give people light and encouragement and positivity. I don't want to give them exhaustion and stress and more anxiety because I am depleted. And that's all I'm saying. Let me know what your experience is, with nursing. Do you love it? And that's another thing. Every nurse that I've asked, they hate it. Like they wish they never got into it. So this video is not to discourage people from being a nurse. We need nurses, we need doctors, we need compassionate people. But just know what you're signing up for and have that compassion there. Like I said, I have a compassion for the psychiatric population. There's that underlying passion there to be curious about the brain and how it works. Like I spent my last shift reading the psych notes, reading about all the disorders, and I was just like really into it. So just have some type of passion for whatever it is you get into when it comes to nursing, and just know that these environments aren't always the most positive, and you have to have thick skin and a strong backbone. Please don't be a new nurse that is afraid to speak up for yourself, because nurses will eat people up like that. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I didn't understand that. Hey, I need help with that. Hey, you need to show me again. Hey, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And that's something that, you know, I wasn't always willing to say up front. And when I did say it, it's funny, that was my last day. That was, 5 years ago when I started in med surge. But it can be tough. So you get into nursing, you have a strong backbone, you have thick skin, you protect your license, and you take care of yourself first and foremost. But let me know how you guys feel about the nursing profession. I just wanted to get that off my chest. And now that it's off, I'm done. But let me know what you think. Later.
Help me! Somebody fucking help me! Help! They're all standing around hurting me! Help me, nurses! Somebody